What's going on, nerds? Blue Ridge Nerd Network here. I'm Luke.
And I'm Dom.
And I'm Garrett, the guest today.
Yay!
One of our first official... Well, we've had some guests.
We've had several guests
We've had
now.
several guests now.
But our first...
special guests.
Yes.
Very
Special guest
special.
indeed.
Literally just got back today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. From the West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast of the United States. I was in Washington State. I was a park ranger for about 5 months. I was a seasonal employee, and I'll probably head back there next summer.
That's pretty awesome. My dad was real big into national parks and all that, so hopefully he ends up watching this and gets excited.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some Washington. We're also going to talk about today's main topic, D&D.
Yes.
And some adventures you've had in the D&D out west.
Pretty wild ones, yeah.
So yeah.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. So yeah. So let's talk about... so this is also the night I learned about D&D because I have no formal knowledge.
Like none.
Like none. Like I know some stuff.
Well, we'll teach you good then.
I know there's some attributes like charisma and dexterity and stuff like that. Hit points or...
Yeah, you know how to play.
Yeah. I've played
set.
enough video games to I could pick it up
You
easy.
got an idea, yeah.
So, yeah, let's dive right into that. What were we talking about first?
First... We're just going to move that, eh?
Yeah.
Sure. First, what is D&D? So, you go ahead, Garrett. You're definitely the most qualified here.
Oh, of course, yeah. So D&D is a role-playing game.
But wait, what does D&D stand for?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Nerd.
Well, I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's a Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game where you use dice to kind of decide the outcome of certain actions or, like chance things that go on. And it's really fun. It gets you into... I always say it gets out of your pants and into the pants of someone else.
Okay.
You ideally you role play the character that you create.
So, like most video games.
Yeah, like most video games, it's very similar. I mean, they have role playing games.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
it's,
where they
it's exactly
it's
kind of the same thing, just in a different media.
It's Skyrim on paper.
Yeah, that's a really good way to explain it. Yeah.
Thank you, Todd Howard.
Did Todd Howard say that?
No, but he created Skyrim.
Oh.
All hail.
Right.
I played some Skyrim.
Yeah, so it's basically Skyrim on paper, and you roll dice instead of like pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Fable be the falls?
Yeah, it's
Fable's
like very similar.
I played some Fable. I enjoyed it.
It's also kind of like World of Warcraft, I guess.
Okay.
It's like a role-playing game. It's kind of
How much World of Warcraft
massive.
have you spent some time into?
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I played
Nearby. I know
not a
some
lot.
people that have invested some time into World of Warcraft.
I was talking to a guy today, a friend, him, Brandon.
He's a World of Warcraft.
He's
you
big.
Look at him. He's like he played World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I went to his house today. He was like asleep middle of the day, and I knocked on the door. He walked in, answered the door. He said, what are you doing here? I said, well, it looks like you've been playing World of Warcraft all night. I'm here to just talk because I got back into town. But yeah, so he's definitely hardcore.
He
plays
dresses up a lot for the midnight stuff for
he does.
GameStop too. That's pretty cool.
Releases and
real cool actually.
Yeah, but so D&D's it's a really fun role playing game, and
the newest edition, 5th edition,
yes,
is not only fun but pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah,
the basics at least. There's a lot of in-depth stuff, but it's not hard to teach somebody to make a character.
No, not hard at all. I mean, if you've got, you can make one in 5 minutes, easy.
Are we going to build a character tonight? Do you want to do that?
Do you want to do that?
We can do that.
Garrett and I could show you how to do that in about a minute flat, but for you it might take a little longer.
Yeah, a bunch of questions, definitely.
Is that regular paper
for you?
It's regular paper.
That works. Yeah.
We have a rubber pencil.
Let me go find some dice.
Oh yes, we need dice.
Because I know you had some big talks about some dice.
Yeah,
there's plenty of dice right there.
I can't lift it; the camera will fall.
That's very true.
Hold on, I need a counter. This is like the Indiana Jones thing.
Oh no. Yeah, so dice. It's D&D. It runs on a D20 system.
Yeah.
So people that aren't, adverse in the world of dice. There is a dice that has 20 sides. There's dice with multiple sides other than just 6, like a normal casino dice.
Is it working?
I think
it's a little shaky.
Yeah.
It's a little Michael J. Foxy.
Oh, okay, moment of truth.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
It worked perfect.
Yeah.
Ha! Suck it. No giant boulder for no giant boulder for me.
Yeah. So.
Little fun fact about dice. It's actually how we chose. Did we go? No, we didn't go at tactic with our Pokemon playthrough.
We tried.
We tried.
It turned out
we got some terrible names.
We did.
We got some terrible names.
Here. Yeah. So there's a bunch of different dice that you use to play Dungeons and Dragons, but for the most part, the one you're going to be rolling the most is a D20. Is a dice with 20 sides.
Here, let's try to get one.
So
I don't know if you're going to be able to focus that.
Oh wow, that came out really good.
Did it?
It does pretty good sometimes.
Yeah. So you have, for the most part, you're going to be rolling on a D20.
Okay.
You roll that for all of your skill checks, attack rolls.
Anything that requires prowess.
Yeah,
basically.
Anything that a person would normally do an act of would require a D20 roll. Yep. And then you get a couple other dice. You have like D10s, D8s, which are aptly named for the sides they have for like 20-sided dice for D20s. D10s, 10, D8s, 8.
Everything in the game it tells you which dice to roll.
Pretty much,
for different scenarios.
And you get like the normal dice, like a casino dice, which is like 6 sides.
Yeah.
That's one. That's people more aptly know about a D6.
That's the most common.
When you say it, when like an average person, you say, "Show me a dice," they would draw you a cube with 6 sides and numbers on it. Well, and continue. So the dice, some people, like, a little fun fact about the dice is that to make them statistically accurate, the dice, so the highest number is usually always opposite of the lowest number.
Yeah.
So the faces on the dice, if you add up opposite faces, it always adds up to 1 more than the highest number on the dice.
Okay.
So a D6, a 6, and a 1 is like opposite of each other. Okay. So it adds up to 7.
Never knew that.
2 and 5 add up to 7.
Is the same on the higher dice?
Same on the higher dice that have opposing sides. So like a D10 is kind of hard. It's not exactly like that, but a D8 does that. So like a 6 and a 3 is opposite of each other. It makes a 9. D20s are like that. The 20 and the 1 are opposite of each other. So that is the way you make a dice, statistically speaking, fair. Whereas, I know in Magic the Gathering, they have dice that are called spin downs where the 20 is right beside the 19, and that goes down to 18. It spins down for easy tracking of life.
They're still opposite on the dice, but they're not randomized around the edges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not as fair as rolling a normal D20. Yeah.
Or so they say.
Yeah.
You'll need a D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20 to play D&D.
Yeah. Pretty much. You need...
I don't think there's any 4s in there, unfortunately.
Yeah, no 4s. If we're making a character, a good way to do it, you grab 4 D6s.
Yes.
And this is a way to kind of randomize the statistics or the stats, your characteristics like charisma, strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, all those.
Okay.
Constitution.
You could maybe write those down. That might be important.
Yeah.
We probably have.
There's probably character sheets around. So write down strength. And you can just do abbreviations like STR for strength. You can do Dex, Dexterity. You do Con for Constitution. Int for Intelligence.
Intelligente.
Wisdom, WIS, and Charisma. CHA. Yeah, so those are the characteristics that make up a D&D character.
So do you roll all 4 at once?
Yeah, so you roll 4 dice, and you add up the most popular way, at least the way that I've been doing it for like all my role-playing career, both in and outside of D&D, is you roll the 4 dice, you take the 3 highest, you add those up, and that's 1 stat. So we're going to roll 4 dice 6 times.
Gotcha.
For the 6 stats. And most house rules, so we rolled a 6, a 2, and 2 1s.
Okay.
For most people that are like rolling a D&D character, they're pretty nice, and we'll let you reroll 1s once.
Okay.
But
so
yeah,
just
so you
one.
you can reroll both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how at least I've kind of always done it. Yeah, so
much
you take
better.
much better.
Yeah. So you take the top 3.
Top 3. So drop the 2 that you had.
Okay.
So 6, 5, and 3. If math serves me right, that'll be a 14.
Yes, sir.
14.
And so that's your first stat. You can put it kind of anywhere, but just write it down.
You get to choose.
Yeah, you get to choose.
Okay.
Some people like to do
If
just
you're
rolling, and whatever you get for the first stat is your strength or whatever. But
did you have an
there's a ton of
idea
ways to do
for
it.
a character?
No.
Sometimes, and this is a thing that I've done, and I'm sure other people have, just roll the stat line and see what you get as a stat line and base a character around that.
I like
Oh
that.
yeah,
So like you
that would be
assign
really
them.
fun. Yeah,
so like
go
you
ahead
leave the
and
14 in strength, and then you see what you get for the others to decide who your
Put
boy
on the
is.
left side there.
yeah.
Whoa, game changer.
Game changer. All right. So
Not normal. Yeah, so we'll just keep rolling.
Ooh,
that's
another
a
14.
pretty good stat for 14 if you want to reroll
If you
one.
want to reroll 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
So another 14. It's like pretty decent stats.
So the scale goes from 0, I'd assume, to 22. Is 22 the max?
So I think you can get higher than 22. I know that
You
monsters,
can with magical items.
and magical items and stuff, but the max is 20
20.
for like normal character generation.
9.
9.
9. That's fine.
Oh, you frail boy.
Yeah, so rolling stats is pretty simple. I know like some newer players, I've like described how to make.
Reroll your 1.
Yeah, I've described how to roll a character, and if I don't have the dice in front of me,
13.
it's really, I find that people just don't understand how to make the character.
Yeah.
If you don't have the dice in front of you. But when you have the dice in front of you like this, it's really easy. Like, I tell you how to do it, you roll your first stat, and you immediately know how to roll all your rest. Yeah.
Alright, so 8.
Another 9?
Another 9. Is that yeah?
Yeah, a 9.
Another 9.
Another 9. Well, I rerolled that 1, so. Alright, last number here. 2, 6.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a
Okay,
good one.
14.
Another 14.
14.
14s
Wow.
and 9s it is.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah,
How good is this guy already?
You got your stats. I mean, like
That's
I
pretty
do
good.
I do like to have characters with at least one stat under 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Well,
it
we're
adds-
lucky we have
it-
2 now.
Yeah, you're lucky to have 2. Yeah, it adds kind of a drawback to a person. A lot of like much like in real life, like a lot of people have some kind of drawback, like some kind of like physical, like they don't talk very well, they're not super smart, or they're not as like healthy when it comes to disease or anything like that. Like
Nobody's nerfed.
So
yeah.
So
yeah.
what is the least important stat category?
Ooh,
Okay,
depends.
that's a hard one. Yeah. So
Because you have 2 9s, so you'd want to put that in the lower tier, correct?
right, yeah.
Depending on what you wanted your character to be, that would determine where you wanted those 9s and where you wanted your
Okay.
higher
So
numbers.
what? And also, what is the base characters?
So the base characters,
We've
we've got I think it's 12 classes. off the top of my head. You want to count them? I think I'm right.
I'll count them.
So you've got a bard. You've got a barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with barbarian, bard, cleric, druid. Is it 12?
It's 12.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah. So you have a barbarian.
Nerdy and proud is always.
I think I get. I think. I mean, it is alphabetical order, but I could probably do it in
I
order.
believe in you.
Barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, rogue. No, ranger, rogue,
tank,
sorcerer, wizard, warlock.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warlock wizard, but yes.
Warlock wizard. Yeah. So and each of those classes
you can build a subcategory around them, right?
Yeah, so each class has a subclass. You kind of get those around level 3 when you decide kind of what your character specializes in.
Yeah.
Inside of their own class. So like my favorite is a monk. You have a bunch of different kind of monks.
Mm-hmm.
You can have one that's a kensai, kind of samurai-ish.
Okay. Sounds pretty cool.
It's pretty fun.
Cool. Well, samurai is actually a
samurai
fighter subclass.
is now also a fighter subclass.
I kind of want to build a samurai and name him Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Any last samurai fans?
Funny
there?
story. Skipping ahead, but yeah. So one of the guys that I met at Washington, he played a monk, a black dragonborn monk, whose name was John Wick.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty
but
cool.
yeah. So he that was pretty funny. But yeah, so classes wise. There's tons of options. Just within the player's handbook, like just these first book, you've got a ton of them. You've got 12 classes. All of them have at least 3 subclasses.
Okay.
A couple of the other spellcasting classes you have it branches it out more than 3. Wizard, you have I think 8 or 9 different like wizard schools, and so you can get really technical, but for just starting your character, you kind of like choose one class and start from there.
Can be a dragonborn barbarian.
Yeah, and so you have a couple different options already there.
Yeah.
Just one or 2 choices of being a dragonborn and being a barbarian.
You like that dragonborn barbarian?
Sure, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know those were there.
So for the stats,
Have we
how
talked
do I
about
want
races?
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay, also with the race, but so I'm gonna go ahead and write down dragonborn barbarian.
Okay. Freaking dragonborn, dope.
So dragonborns are super cool. I've seen a lot of really neat interpretations of what a dragonborn can be. So conventional D&D, they're like scaly. They look like dragons that are bipedal. They don't have tails. That's a thing. Dragonborns don't have tails. I found that out like not super long ago.
Is it just after it gets cut off so many times, kind of like the Saiyans?
So I think like in one of the D&D settings, it is like a slavery thing.
Okay.
Like Dragonborn was a slave race, and they like cut their tails off.
Kind of like the killer whales. Once they've been in captivity, their fin curves.
Yeah, their fin curves. Yeah,
reason.
Yeah.
Never got that.
Yeah. Scientists don't even like really know what causes that.
That's so weird.
It's probably depression. If I put like a thing on it, took a good guess, I think it would probably be depression. But that's my marine science background coming out. But anyways,
his fin's gone limp.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So, but yeah, in the races, you've got a bunch of different races in D&D. I don't know the number on those.
I think I counted 10.
10,
okay.
Yeah.
So what are my options for races? Or is Dragonborn already a race?
Dragonborn is a race.
Okay, so I'm already set on that.
Okay. You have
barbarian,
dwarf, elf, human, half orc, gnome,
half elf.
half elf.
I'm
missing a big one. Did I say humans? Gnomes,
No.
Dragonborn.
See, I'm telling you, I feel like it'd be
Dwarf.
so easy
Did I
to
say dwarf?
used to
adapt
say dwarf.
Oh, okay.
adapt this to a Dragon Ball Z base game.
Yeah.
Half orc.
Tiefling.
Little dragon folk.
I have a friend that says
folk.
tiefling.
Tiefling?
Yeah.
Incorrect. I'm sorry.
Very.
So here's a question: Am I
not sure about that one?
Am I super effective against anything? Or
No,
against
no. So
anything?
races,
So
it doesn't give
fairy,
you. It
fairy
doesn't give you.
hurt me extra.
Nah, it doesn't.
Dragon on dragon.
Doesn't give you
all
like
that
Pokemon stuff. Yeah.
I mean, we
But,
turn us into Pokemon too. I'm
right.
good.
I like a long time ago. I tried to like come up with a Pokemon RPG.
That'd be cool.
Just like it didn't super work. And I think they have like a role playing book for that now.
Really?
It's like
I wouldn't
Pokemon
doubt
now.
it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I think you have to play like all the characters like kids though. They're like 10-year-olds, like Ash, like a perpetual 10-year-old.
Bad.
Kind of odd.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, you got a ton of different races. Dragonborn is a really good one.
Okay.
Cool.
Off the top of my head,
I'm
I
gonna
think,
try
you,
to
I
draw
think you get
him.
like Constitution and Wisdom. Off of it.
No.
Is it not Constitution Wisdom?
So how does the hit point work?
Strength and charisma.
Strength and Charisma.
Right?
Interesting.
That's what I said.
I've never played a Dragonborn.
How's the hit points work?
So the hit points work off of your class.
Class.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
so
Barbarian.
times
It works.
Dragonborn.
Hey, you actually get to use the most underused dice in the game.
Yeah, so a
Oh, that's
D12. I
Okay.
didn't see one. Okay, yeah. So a D12 is a really cool one. It's a dice with 12 sides.
Okay.
It's like,
So what does
it's
this
really
do? I
So-
roll it and times
so
it by 3.
You don't
When
roll
you-
it. For first level,
For first level,
Okay.
you don't roll.
you just
take
get the max.
So you're going to have 12 plus your constitution.
Constitution modifier. So
Oh,
those
no.
numbers we rolled.
Oh, no. Wait a
Um,
second.
So we haven't. I haven't decided where those go.
Okay, good.
yet, so
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying.
Because constitution's real important for a barbarian.
Hey,
Yeah.
chat. Also, if there's anyone in the chat right now, let us know. Say hi.
Is the thing up?
Where I exited out last time, we're using a different computer, so not everything's set up the way we had it.
Oh. How would we know if someone's in chat then?
Because I have it right here.
Oh, okay, good. Thank
Thank
goodness.
Exactly. Help me think of a name for a dragon-born barbarian.
Ooh.
Going male with this. Give me some name suggestions. Let us know in the chat. While we decide, I guess while I decide where these stats are going to go.
Okay. Yeah. So for barbarians, you definitely want your highest to be in Constitution, most likely, and your second highest in Strength, or either the other way.
So
right?
I feel like I'm going to go.
Really, that's just a suggestion in the player's handbook.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you could put those
You could
numbers
put 'em
anywhere. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's like pretty free as to
Okay.
like, do you want to make a barbarian with a low Constitution so your hit points maybe aren't as high?
Well, I think you know what. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna put the 13 there because I have some 14 options on my
Yeah.
rolls here.
And like, just so you know, these numbers, they are very important to your character, but there's a second number associated with those numbers.
Okay.
So this is like
Your modifier.
the slight bit of information when making a character that can kind of get confusing.
Okay.
But after this, it's smooth sailing.
All right. So dexterity.
Yeah. So dexterity. Anyways, so dexterity is like your balance, how well you throw things,
Okay.
or
Also
shoot things.
Defense.
Defense, it also helps out.
Because
with,
I'm feeling some
defense.
double axes, so I want to throw them.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, man. So
That
the
works.
hand axe. Sidebar: the hand axe is the best thrown/melee weapon in the core book D&D. TED Talk over.
TED Talk over.
I like darts.
Darts are cool, but
The
you can't use them
D4?
in melee.
Yeah, you can.
So I'm gonna put
You totally can.
You
14.
totally can, he says.
in dexterity.
Totally can.
Intelligence, wisdom, and
Piercing,
charisma.
finesse, thrown. Yeah.
Huh.
I think you can.
How about that?
Well, it's the same as... No, it's under ranged weapon.
It is. Yeah.
It's under
maybe
ranged
not.
weapon. See, in that case, a dagger is superior to a dart because you can use a dagger as a stabby and as a thrown.
Yeah.
Stabby.
The hand axe is better than all of
So,
them because it does a d6.
Yeah.
It's...
The hand axe is great. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad I said that.
Anyways, yeah. So
Intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
back to character building.
We just love to jump around over
Yeah.
here. It's kind of our thing.
So where are we at?
Okay.
So
Ability
attributes.
scores.
So ability scores.
Modification.
the modifiers.
Yeah.
So
Oh, hey, being a Dragonborn gives you some bonuses.
Yeah.
I should
So-
tell you about that.
You should tell me about that.
You get a +2 to your strength.
So whatever-
16.
Yeah.
Go ahead and write 16
That's a
here.
good thing to have there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Well,
And
how about
then-
that?
charisma as well, right?
+1
plus
to your
one.
charisma. So if you were to put, say, a 9 in your charisma, it would become a 10.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
how about that?
we haven't told you this yet, but 10 is the part where
This-
you stop taking penalties.
Yeah. So 10 is like the base. Anything below 10 is a minus modifier, is a negative modifier.
Okay.
Anything
I'm gonna
above
roll.
it, when you roll, you like take away from your dice roll
Okay.
on the D20.
Okay.
But anything above it, you add to your.
So this leaves us with the final two stats here, and it's probably the age-old question: is it better to have wisdom or intelligence?
Oh, I have an easy answer to this for D&D. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Okay.
A lot of things. Wisdom's probably the best choice.
Okay. How does wisdom affect the game?
So a big one is that a lot of the spells that aren't anything that
Oh, yeah.
can be dodged
Oh, yeah.
are wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
So having a higher wisdom, is that now occurring to you that the most common saves in D&D
Yeah.
are a dexterity saving throw or a wisdom
Wisdom.
saving throw?
Okay.
Unless you happen to be going up against a certain type of spellcaster that uses charisma,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a
so
warlock.
wisdom is really 99%
Wisdom-
of the time. You're
Yeah,
right.
a lot of the
I
spells.
feel like there's a lot of constitution though.
There are some fair amount of Constitution spells, but I think the majority of spells that are
spells.
cast that require a
So with
save
that being
are a dex
said-
or a wisdom save.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 9 in intelligence and 14 in wisdom. This is going to be a street smart dragonborn barbarian.
Yeah.
So he's not good with the intelligence, but he's got the street smarts, the
Yeah, it's
wisdom.
okay. Who needs that fancy book learnings?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna have a country accent for sure.
Yeah.
I think we just named him. His name's Jimbo.
Nah. We'll
Um,
see what the chat says.
Bubba.
It's like,
Bubba the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so you've got your stats, and then the modifiers that go with those,
been applied.
they do apply. So you got the bumps for being a Dragonborn.
Yes.
But so for
Oh,
these
this is
stats,
also my hit points, right? We need to roll my hit points.
Not on
no,
first level.
Not on first
Okay.
level.
But we're getting there.
Okay, my
So
bad.
the modifiers with these.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to slide this your way. You
yeah.
can actually just look at that part now.
So here's this. Here's the player's handbook. So this is like creating a barbarian, right?
Okay.
Every class has this. It's really nice. And they have like a quick build section.
Okay.
Right. So those stats, a 10 is a 0. It's plus
Okay.
0. Don't add anything to it.
Okay.
And it goes by increments of 2.
Okay.
So 10 and 11 is plus 0.
Okay.
12 and 13 are plus 1.
So I need to put a +1 right here.
Yeah, so that would be your modifier, and that's what you add to your D20 rolls.
Okay.
You use
A
an
D20.
associated stat for
Okay.
a D20 roll. A 14 to 15 is 2
Okay.
plus 2, and then 16 to 17 is plus 3. 18 to 19 plus
Well, hell yeah.
4, and then a 20 is plus 5.
That is pretty dope with the stat line here.
Yeah, and then I think is a 9 is a minus 1.
Oh. Well, you know.
9-8 is minus 1,
9-8.
and 7-6 is
Yeah.
minus 2, and then so on.
Yeah.
He's got
So,
the helmet of
now,
stupidity.
yeah, so now you've got your like modifiers, and you like have your character like officially kind of started.
Okay.
So then, quick build, you kind of go through what stuff you get just for being a barbarian.
Okay.
So you get certain proficiencies, you get a certain amount of hit points,
Okay.
and that right now would be 12 plus whatever the modifier for your constitution is.
Okay. So a +1.
Yes.
So it'd be 13.
Yeah, you start with 13 hit points.
Then you write that down.
Yeah, just put HP somewhere. And you also get like some proficiencies for being a barbarian in the so you get like light armor and medium armor. You get shields if you want to
Okay.
use a shield. And you get like certain weapon proficiencies and also saving throws, which is the important part. You get for a barbarian, it's strength and constitution saving throws.
Okay.
And then you get your skills. After you get your skills, you've pretty much like made your character.
Cool.
Like it's pretty simple.
After that, you're basically adding a background and getting some gear. So you're it's
Okay.
not that hard. Really.
So
And then you're role playing.
medium armor. I mean, just kind of choose that.
So so those are proficiencies. So you are able to use medium armor and gain like the benefits of using medium armor, but you don't like necessarily start the game with medium armor. You do
But
have
that's your
starting
build type.
equipment. Yeah, so
Okay.
like you can the player's handbook choices usually give you a couple choices for armor or weapons.
Yeah.
For every class. I think the only one that doesn't for weapons is wizard. You just get a dagger.
I think so.
Like
A dagger or a quarterstaff, I think.
yeah.
So weapon, can I put down double throwing axe?
Yeah,
double
so
axe?
we'll turn the page and
right
we'll look at
here.
your starting equipment. You can start with a great axe or any martial weapon. You also get 2 hand axes or any simple weapon, and then you get an explorer's pack and 4 javelins.
Gosh.
So
Barbarians are pretty nice, actually.
Dude.
Yeah.
2 hand axes. 2.
I'm going 2 hand axes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get
You
2
also
hand
get
axes.
a great axe or any martial melee weapon. So
Yeah.
you can have a big axe too if you want.
You have a big axe. You can have
A sword.
a sword, a maul, morning star,
Shillelagh. No, you can't have a shillelagh.
shillelagh.
You're not a druid.
Not a druid.
Man, druids. Oh,
Druids are pretty fun.
Reese is playing a druid in the one that we're playing on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I've read the druid, but I've never seen one.
Can I have I want a big giant hammer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
With
No,
So
Warhammer.
simple.
Is there a
Any
With the
martial
big stone?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It has definitely a martial weapon. So
with the
Does it-
stone as its
Yeah.
hammer part. Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
you can definitely have that. You can just put down like Warhammer,
Okay.
and
Use that.
that'll pick.
It's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry to that mess. Oh, yeah, real close now. Oh, it's almost there, and yeah, there. It is.
So yeah, martial weapons. You can have
Okay.
any of these. So you've got your big list: battle axe, flail, glaive, great axe, great sword, halberd, lance, longsword, maul, morningstar, pike, rapier, scimitar, short sword, trident, warpick, warhammer, or a whip.
I don't
Whips are
know.
kinda
What about a crossbow? Can I have a crossbow?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, you do only have like a limited choice when you're like
Dang.
starting your character.
Okay, but I can get a crossbow at some point.
At some
right?
point while role playing the game. Yeah.
I'd like to get a crossbow. I'll change that out for the warhammer, but we gotta get through building this character.
So yeah, so you can basically you get your starting equipment.
Okay.
So any martial weapon, you got a warhammer, you got 2 hand axes.
Uh-huh.
You automatically get an explorer's pack and 4 javelins.
Okay.
So you can like throw stuff and win gold medals.
Sick Olympics joke.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Anyways, yeah.
Gold javelins.
No. Yeah. So yeah, you have 4 javelins.
Okay.
You can like throw around. I think you can also javelin's also one of those. It might be one that you can use as melee weapon too.
I don't think so. I think that's
Maybe
spear.
not.
I think
Is it
javelin's
spear?
only.
Okay. Yeah. Spear is.
Javelin for only throwing kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, close quarters in practical life, yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
you know,
Not
So-
when you've got hand axes.
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely
Gosh.
you're
Right.
more your close quarter
So
for weapons. So you know.
yeah. So you
Then
start with
pinch.
that. That's your starting equipment,
Okay.
and then you'll choose a background,
Okay.
or you'll get your skills.
Okay.
So
Do I roll
you
for
can
these
choose.
as well.
No, so you they give you a list that you can choose from. You get 2
Okay.
right here, and so you can choose animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, or survival, and all those are associated with a certain characteristic that you rolled earlier when you started your character, and
So
once you choose those, you get a proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So you get to like add your modifier that you rolled for and a little extra. So you're a little bit better at those skills, but you can
Okay.
roll for any skill in the game.
I'm
And there's a big
kinda-
list of them.
I'm kind of feeling intimidation.
Okay.
And what's nature? Explain nature to
So
me.
nature,
Nature would be the check that you would make to say Understand anything doing with nature. No. Survival is going to handle... survival handles what you think survival handles.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little more obvious. Nature is going to be anything else. Not finding food, that's survival. Knowing what kind of tree something is. Knowing if an animal is indigenous to that part of the world. Understanding certain types of potions, maybe, depending on who would make them. If it was like a plant-based concoction, you might be able to suss that out via nature.
Yeah, and the skills are pretty. They're pretty open to interpretation too, so they can kind of be used for a lot of different things.
There's loopholes.
Small ones for certain
circumstantial stuff. Yeah. Really, the DM gets a lot of leeway as to what they can use. What for.
So like, there's definitely some a lot of the most. The one that comes up the most in the games that I've played is that you come across like an old book, and the DM might say you can roll either history or religion for that. So that's like a pretty common one. Those two skills kind of go hand in hand.
Nature and survival are survival.
Good. What about animal handling and athletics?
So animal handling is going to be dealing with an animal, friend or foe, and getting it to even come near you, possibly. Okay. Animal handling is like... Does it factor into riding? Do you use animal handling? Yeah. Okay, so use animal handling for riding. I know you use it for any kind of interaction with an animal, because that's quite literally what it is.
And athletics is... it's a strength-based skill, and it's used for whenever you need to like climb up a wall, swim a long distance, run a long distance.
Jumping, I think.
Jumping.
Then we go intimidation and athletics.
Yeah, that's a good barbarian loadout there, my man. Yeah. You like to run and you like to be scary.
And you will get skills later when you choose your background as well.
Yes. Okay. Actually, and this is a kind of a house rule thing. If I usually go back and change my stuff if I go pick a background that has a crossover skill. Yeah, so
Jeremy Crawford, big fan, obviously. He's the franchise creative... No, that's Mike Morales. Jeremy Crawford is the guy that like kind of makes the final decision on rules for D&D. Like his name is in the front of this book. Jeremy Crawford, where you at? Lead on Jeremy Crawford.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's the lead of the book.
He's the lead of the book. D&D lead designers Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford. Two very legendary names in the world of D&D. And Jeremy Crawford, awesome guy. Is really friendly on Twitter.
That's good. We should have tagged him in the...
What's
his name? I'll do it real quick.
Jeremy Crawford. But he
don't do this. Don't do this to us.
He does kind of interpret rules for people.
Has he weighed in on that specific one?
Yes. That one. So if you pick skills here that are in your... This one says choose, right?
And the other one, it doesn't
necessarily
always
say
give you
choose,
a choice,
right? So if you do have the same skill, you can just choose any skill. It's not from a certain list. So it's kind of neat, yeah. So like for the barbarian, if you chose the one that comes to mind for athletics would be a soldier. You get athletics for being a soldier. Instead of doing athletics twice, which you can't do, or choosing from this list for like barbarians, animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, or survival, you could take a religion or a history. So it's kind of it's kind of like fortuitous.
I like that better. So I just go back and pick a different one from the list.
Yeah, so you can pick any skill. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's neat. So that way, it like for me and for some people, you might see that a background gives you the same skills that you want.
Intentionally do. Oh.
That you might not want to choose that background.
Yeah,
but it really doesn't matter.
So I get these at each level up?
Yeah, so you get a bunch of different features whenever you level up. So level 1, you automatically get a rage,
unarmored,
and
defense.
Unarmed defense.
Okay.
So with barbarians, you you are a little bit tougher when you're not even wearing armor.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So
tough skin.
Yeah.
Does
So
Dragonborn also have something to do with that as well?
So not necessarily. They do get
tough skin ability.
We didn't talk about your color.
Yeah. So Dragonborns can be a bunch of different colors.
Oh, because like our dragon poster we had. Each one has their.
So you've got the chromatic and metallic dragons.
Okay.
Chromatic, off the top of my head, it's like red, green, blue, white, and black. And then
there's a poster somewhere I can go find. Then, I don't know.
And then metallics are copper, silver, platinum, and gold.
Bronze?
And bronze. Yeah, bronze. So you can choose any one of those, and that's kind of like how you'll look. Your scales will be that like tinged of color.
What's blue?
Blue dragons. So I think they're
lightning.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Thor over here.
They might get cold. Blue.
So your blue get lightning damage. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a blue. Blue. I'm putting that on here.
Nice.
Yeah. So
blue Dragonborn.
Dragonborns are super cool. I've never played one, but I've always thought it's super nice to have a breath weapon in your back pocket.
Wait, are the blue ones supposed to be really smart? Which one are the smart dragons?
So the really smart dragons, I think, are the green dragons.
Oh, okay.
They're like super smart.
You chose a proper color.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a little D&D lore for you. All the chromatic dragons, they're associated with evil.
Okay.
Or chaotic.
Okay.
They're so you've got the alignment, right? You've got chaos. You've got chaotic and lawful. Then you have good and evil, right? So a lot of the chromatic dragons are chaotic, and then all of the metallic dragons are associated with law.
Okay.
So they're a little more friendly, metallic dragons, but it doesn't really affect your character choice for Dragonborns. No. But that's just like some D&D lore, and each color kind of is associated with some kind of different.
I'm kind of piecing together a backstory here.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily go into all red dragons are mean or all green dragons are super smart.
Well,
but
this blue dragon is
kind of the
misunderstood.
lore for it.
That's how I'm building my story.
Yeah, here. I can't remember exactly what blue dragons are associated with, but I know white dragons. They're very ferocious, they're feral.
We're going Hulk style background. I just want to do good, but everyone just sees me as a monster.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So with Dragonborns you get a breath weapon, so you can breathe a
lightning.
Breath. Yeah, and you breathe lightning.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's
it's a line actually.
Yeah. So
yours isn't a cone.
It's kind of neat with lines and cones, different templates to use in D&D when you're talking combat.
Oh yeah, the grid. That's a whole nother episode, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean we can do a ton of different episodes on D&D, but and really
just open a can of worms here.
Go into the mechanics of it, but
okay.
Yeah, so basically your blue Dragonborn. Dragonborns get some interesting things with their breath weapon and your draconic ancestry. So whenever you go toward or get dealt some lightning damage, it's not as much lightning damage.
When you get hit by it, you have resistance to it.
Yeah, you have a resistance to it. And that's exactly what it is. It's a resistance. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how does water affect me?
No, it's water.
How do I affect water?
That's an interesting.
Are you the toaster? Is that what happens here? If I drop you in a bathtub, are you gonna zap some dude? No swimming pools for you.
Just one dip in one finger in the water.
That'd be a cool, interesting thing. I'm looking for backgrounds.
Oh yeah.
So, got a couple different backgrounds.
Okay.
In D&D, a couple.
Are you a toaster? I think you actually. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd probably be DM's discretion. That would be interesting.
Mythbusters, help us out here.
Wait, actually, Jeremy Crawford. If you're watching this.
Hey, I was trying to find him on Twitter. Couldn't get it. But
so you have a bunch of different backgrounds. You have acolyte. It's kind of vague, but you're a specific like devotee to a certain god.
Okay.
Or ideal.
Okay.
And then you have a charlatan. You have always had a way with like people. It's kind of like a really talking person.
You're a con man.
It doesn't sound like me. You
have a criminal background.
People think I'm a criminal, but
okay. You have the entertainer.
Doubtful.
No.
A folk hero.
Folk hero
maybe
doesn't sound like it's up your may not sound like it's up your alley, but what it gives you is going to be right up your alley.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a guild artisan. It's kind of neat. It gives you like some good charisma based kind of
you have
stuff.
Proficiency with a tool.
Yeah, you do get proficiencies with tools. Let's see here. Another one is the hermit. It's pretty nice. And it's a pretty favored one for monks.
Okay, I'm feeling the hermit. You said I could choose 2 on this?
You choose one.
Okay.
Choose one background now.
I'm feeling the hermit.
Hermit's pretty nice. The other options, you have a noble, come from a noble background. You have the outlander, so it's kind of out there by yourself.
That or the noble. Oh, God.
There's that.
Okay, I feel like my backstory's built to self. You're a fallen noble that no one cares about anymore. Like, he's just the town drunk or whatever now. Something I don't know.
Right. And then, that'd be an idea.
That could be.
That's a good one, yeah.
Fallen noble.
You're
maybe, and the background, these are just like starting points. Like it is pretty open to your interpretation. And like a good conversation with your DM does really good for your background.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely enjoy, like a good session 0.
Oh yeah.
Where you can
starting point.
Yeah, a good starting point. Like you're not really playing the game, but you're talking about your characters and introducing your characters.
Yes.
And, really like hammering out some details. It's really good thing for every D&D group. I'm a very firm believer. Once we like done a session 0, like in our home games that I've done, I want to start every campaign like that.
I don't know. Do you know which one of us came up with that, or where we got that from?
So the session 0, I believe I got it from watching some of the people that like stream D&D. Matt Colville being one, or like the Critical Role peeps.
Yeah.
They like talked about doing a session 0, and
I just found my character, like literally.
Oh, nice.
Oh, check him out.
Literally what I wanted. Let's see if we can bring that up here.
Credit to whoever that or wherever that came from. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Huh.
Blue dragon with double hand axe.
You just have a tail.
Retweet that photo on the thing for
the stream. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I don't know.
Technical difficulties, yeah.
Oh, we never know how to do it. But this gives me a good point to draw on.
Yeah.
You're like an artiste.
Yeah, I kind of. I can copy what someone's done onto my own paper.
That counts.
That counts.
Totally. Isn't that how art works?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know how art works.
Yeah. So you're a fallen noble.
Okay.
And from the noble background, you get history and persuasion as 2 skills. On top of your athletics.
What was the first one?
And,
History.
And persuasion.
Is intimidation based off charisma?
Yes, it is. It can be arguably done with strength.
I think there might actually be a feat for that. In one of the other in maybe not.
I don't know if there's a feat, but
I think I may be remembering incorrectly.
I think maybe a barbarian at some point can use intimidation using their strength.
That might be what
I think it's a class feature. I bet it is.
I bet it is.
I know it is.
Whoa.
Let's see here.
Might be part of one of the primal paths.
Maybe not.
Ooh, maybe not.
No, well, I guess not. There's definitely something that does that, like in-game terms, but I think using using it as like strength, depending on like what you're doing to intimidate the people.
If you can RP it properly.
Yeah, if you can like role play it, I think like using strength would be more than acceptable for intimidation.
I feel like that's definitely where my guy's coming from is strength, especially since it's a 16 plus 3.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty strong.
That's damn strong.
It's like
He's strong.
It's like
Strong.
strong.
So history, persuasion.
Yeah, so this is basically your character.
That is a level 1 character.
It's a level 1 character. You do get some additional features like your
level
rage
1.
and
Complete
unarmored defense.
Oh yeah, we need to determine your armor class.
Oh yeah, so your armor class. If you're not wearing armor, I think with
10 plus or 8 plus.
It's usually like 8 plus your dex if you're not wearing armor, but barbarians get 10 plus your dex plus your constitution if they're not wearing armor. So you have potentially like a really high AC without wearing armor.
So right there, you're going to be rocking a 13.
13. What does the armor add?
So certain armors, some of them are just like a flat number for AC, which is your armor class. And that's what enemies need to roll to hit you. So if they roll a d20, they add their modifiers. If it doesn't equal or go higher than your AC, it doesn't hit you or it doesn't like damage you if it does hit you. Yeah.
So it used to be super hard back in the day with Thaco, and AC is way better.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Thaco.
Oh gosh. I've got some like really bad
Thaco. I tell
doing
you
just
what.
so much math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only done it in theory. I've never actually played in the campaign with it. But boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's complicated. But, so that's basically your character with your unarmored defense. It is a 13, so it is on the lower side. But with your rage ability for barbarians, you get the half like damage that comes into you for like while you're raging.
Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, yeah.
How often do I rage?
So you get to choose that, and it's usually during battle, obviously, like combat. And you can do it so many times equal to your level.
It's on the chart. It's determined by the chart.
Yeah.
It's 2 at first level.
Yeah. So.
And you do an additional 2 damage on every roll while you're raging.
Rage damage. It's pretty nice. Just that extra little bit. Yeah, so I mean, we could go into further detail, but it might.
That's the basics of a character, and if we keep going at that rate, we're going to be here for I don't know 3 or 6 more hours.
Yeah,
but that for your introduction into Dungeons and Dragons, how do you feel about it?
I'm feeling confident. I feel like I could play.
Okay.
I feel like I could play.
You could roll the dice, as we say.
How many? Oh yeah.
So you use a d20 for everything.
Okay. So what about the 12-sided die?
So that one.
Do I still need to roll this?
Okay. Nah. Yeah.
It'd been a 10.
Yeah. So when you level up,
you
will roll that, and you'll add that plus your con to your hit points.
Okay.
So if you were to level up that 10 plus your con you would add another 11 hit points to your HP.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. It's a pretty high roll.
That's pretty good roll.
Pretty good roll.
Pretty good roll.
Second HP.
There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a character, and then you're playing. Like,
wow. There are a lot of books for D&D. I just grabbed a small portion of them that we have in our living room. Yeah. Pass them down the line. Ready?
And plus, you have a lot of them too, as well, don't you?
I've got a fair amount.
Some of them may be here.
A lot of them come from y'all supporting them on Kickstarter, right?
Oh yeah, I did get a book.
We don't have. There's an alternate.
Strongholds and Followers.
Yeah, did you get that too?
I did.
T got a copy of that.
It's a good book from Matthew Colville.
You throwing them?
We did the unboxing of the Stranger Things D&D.
Oh yeah.
Got that later out.
It's a box.
It's a box. That's in our opener there.
Yeah. So Dungeons and Dragons, they come out as a company, Wizards.
Wizards of the Coast?
Yeah. Wizards of the Coast, yeah.
They used to do the Pokemon cards. I don't know if they still do or not.
I think they do.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. I went by their headquarters.
Where's it?
Nice.
Isn't it in Ohio?
It's in Renton, Washington, which is just south of Washington, of Seattle. South of Washington. South of Seattle, yeah. I went by their headquarters, but I was too afraid to walk in.
Oh yeah, I would be too.
I didn't know what I was expecting. I was expecting just open the couple
doors,
hundred people that work in just Dungeons and Dragons to be there, but no, it's all of Wizards. So
really?
it's like Magic the Gathering, it's everything there.
Nintendo owns Pokemon now.
Do they?
Okay.
Pokemon USA makes the cards now.
Huh.
Wizards of the Coast is no longer part of it.
Yeah, so I went by their headquarters, which was
that's cool.
It's kind of neat. It's kind of like a plain building with the wizard symbol on it.
It's kind of upsetting.
Wouldn't really know
what it was.
Unless unless you were looking to go there, like I was.
We actually, fun side note, we passed the WWE headquarters in Connecticut.
No joke.
Of all the places, it's in Connecticut.
Well, it's kind of like the Shoney's headquarters is right down the street in Hillsville.
Yeah, or the local branch, yeah.
Yeah, the local headquarters branch.
Huh.
It's on Main Street in Hillsville.
How about that?
I know, right? One of the old banks. It's weird. It's actually really weird.
Well, welcome to Hillsville.
Right?
Yeah.
We are the kings.
So, that's like D&D in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
A very small nutshell.
But of a much bigger branch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That nutshell is part of that tree.
I mean, it's
that's
definitely
just the acorn dropping down to grow.
Yeah. I mean,
you have no idea. When you start making characters for fun and buying these books by the droves, come talk to me, buddy.
we can talk about D&D for a lot.
So let's talk. I know you had some stories you wanted to talk about with some D&D.
Yeah, so they weren't the best stories. I did
the good, the bad, the ugly.
The good, the bad, the ugly of D&D stories. When I moved to Washington for the Park Service job, I found a local gaming store where they charge for the table or the space to play. It's $5, and it's $3 store credit, so it's kind of nice. You get some money back, but
so they charged you to play D&D.
They charged me to play D&D. It's basically like renting the space. For
that's the thing.
3 hours for a week.
We could rent out the Hillsville Public Library for $10 a night.
I mean, that's true, and I'm not opposed to it. That's very controversial to some people, is paying to play D&D.
Yeah,
I agree with it, especially with the situation that you had there. I mean, you got it as shop credit. Is that right?
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, I got $3 out of the $5 towards store credit. So the overall store, is still making $5, but at least $3 of that for me goes towards something that I would spend in the store anyways.
Yeah. I think that I'm.
Yeah, it's pretty odd because the home game or the home store here in the Galax, never has been.
Yeah, never charged.
Has never charged. Has never, to my knowledge, ever even thought about it.
Yeah, no.
He wants people to come in and play and enjoy themselves and have a fun time playing, and a better way to do that is to not charge for use of your tables.
Yeah.
So it's really nice here. I've had a lot of fun at that game store. But
now you used to play a Star Wars based RPG out of that same place as well, correct?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Up until fairly recently, we my group unfortunately stopped going. We ran as a little 2-man unit, but it's okay.
Yeah, but so the store in Washington, it's an amazing store. I would highly recommend it to anyone. Can I say names here?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's Anime Cat in Port Angeles.
Anime Cat.
Follow us.
Anime Cat.
We enjoy your stuff. He does. He gives you a grade A rating. So
yeah, I love that store. The owner is his name's Drew. He's a great guy. Didn't have many personal conversations with him, but the conversations I did have with him, and talking about like products and stuff like that were really like A+. Would recommend Anime Cat for sure.
Is that like the chess piece from He-Man?
Shut up. I don't know what it is. I'm just rolling with it.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Is his name Adam, Prince of Eternia?
No. It's no.
Yeah, but
I don't know the name yet. I'm just drawing. Okay?
Yeah, playing there, like I would gladly like spend $5 to play there again. It's a good store. I definitely like supporting like the small game stores.
For sure.
The DM that I played with in that certain group, the best way that I can describe it is it was slightly unprofessional. I have no doubt.
Talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have no doubt with the guy. He's a good guy. I enjoy his company outside of D&D, but while we were playing D&D, I didn't have a lot of fun. There were times that were like nice and enjoyable, but for the most part, it felt like very unprofessional in a sense where, my home games that I've been a part of, I'm friends with the DM. I hang out with the DM a lot, like outside of the game, and it's fun, both outside of the game, talking about the game, and in the game, playing the game. But with this particular DM, it just didn't
mesh.
It didn't mesh super well, and not super wrong with that. It's like his game. If he wants to run it that way, that's fine. But it just seemed to be DMing for, like, he got store credit for how many players he got to come and play.
Oh, how many players were in the group?
So it bounced around between 3 to 7, which like
that's a big spread.
It's not a it's especially a big spread whenever it's an open game night for anyone to come in and play. So that number bounced around a lot.
Ooh.
Like a lot.
So you just have people jumping in at the stores at different times. It's kind of that's really unprofessional.
Well, I mean, that's just like how the game night worked at the store. It wasn't anything to do with like that DM particularly.
Yeah.
Like it's not that he was like asking for more players or asking for less players. He just got the group of people that came in on that night. So it was nice. I definitely in that setting I see scheduling conflicts like are really hard to deal with. Where you're paying to play, the scheduling conflicts can be really hard because I know with a home game we like to have a cohesive like unit of players and like play at a certain time. And it's been like Friday night. Every night that we've done it like one other night a couple times when schedules allowed it. But if there's a scheduling conflict for at least 2 players, we usually don't play that night because we want those players to be there.
I know you all had a thing recently with scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, we actually had to cancel our Roasters Tuesday game.
So scheduling conflicts was like it's definitely the biggest factor when it comes to playing on a regular basis. I think unless you get like really dedicated people of like telling work I can't work at this time. I'm playing D&D.
Having the option to tell work that too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of why I had to. I originally was in the Friday night group. Years ago, and I had to drop out because of work.
Yeah, we should play again.
I could, but there's how many people?
No, I mean like we should play like.
Oh yeah.
Like get maybe a second group going.
Oh, my third group.
Oh, you're in another. Oh,
Tuesday night with T.
Interesting.
Oh no, that would only be my second group. You're right.
Anyways, I like playing role playing. We should play it. We should play.
I love me some D&D.
Well, I have my character here, so y'all are behind.
Yeah,
actually.
make a character. So
don't tempt me. I'll do it.
Yeah, so
he will.
The game the DM back to like roll around to the topic. The DM.
Oh yeah,
we do that.
The DM. He just seemed to look a little unprofessional to be playing at a store for a credit, right? So he didn't stay on topic very often. He didn't seem like he knew the adventure that he was running. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely passionate about like D&D and like playing the game, but it just didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. I mean that like kind of in the best way, but it just like it wasn't fun the whole time. Yeah. I don't want to say anything like too mean or anything like that, but it just wasn't. It wasn't a fun time. I had more fun role playing with the other players than I did playing the game with the DM. Yeah. So the DM didn't make it like a fun game. What made it a fun game was playing with the other players. And I think at that point I thought, okay, well, if I'm not having fun playing the game, then I can just hang out with the players outside of the game. And that's what I did. Yeah, I hung out with the players. I hung out with the DM like once or twice outside of the game. Like once outside of the game. But the players were awesome. They were all new players for the most part. Yeah. I was the only person that had any kind of D&D experience. I don't know the extensive amount of experience I don't know the extent of the experience of the DM playing like Dungeons and Dragons or running like a 5th edition like modern setting. So, but like maybe going out on a limb, but I want to say it's probably not a whole lot from what I saw. But the players were all like, it was fun because I was the experienced player. People would always ask me for things like information because they're all new players. It was really nice to see newer players coming in. It was kind of sad to see
old players
them also not having as much of a fun time with the game itself. So it's kind of a teeter-totter of like good and bad of like new players coming to the game, good.
Yay.
Like new players coming and not enjoying the game. No.
Nay.
Yeah. So
nay.
Yeah, I had some conversations outside of the game with like the newer players talking about the game and like how fun it can be, and I think I've steered them into the right direction of like getting a fun game in and like realizing like what they want as a player. So I've got hope that whenever I go back out there that they'll be doing a home game and I can just like hop right back into there and play some fun D&D. Yeah. And it's really nice because I've been playing D&D.
How many years now?
For D&D, D&D itself probably only like pushing 3. Like playing out of the 5th edition Player's Handbook, probably only about 3 years. It's like going on 3 years. Role-playing games in general, I've got like 10 years of experience. I think I started around when I was 14. I'm 24 now. Went out to the hobby shop here in Galax.
How long has 5th edition been out? Fun fact, trivia moment.
2008.
5th edition?
No. Yeah. No. It's not that old.
2008 might be 4th edition, honestly.
Okay. Is it 2013?
2014.
2014.
She's 5 years old.
Happy birthday.
That's surprising.
I know.
Did you spend much time on Final Fantasy? Is that
no,
a role-playing game?
It is a role-playing game.
Yeah.
It's a role-playing game. Like, my knowledge of Final Fantasy, I don't have a large knowledge. But isn't it like turn-based kind of thing?
It's very similar to Pokemon, honestly.
It's very similar to Pokemon.
That's what I was going to relate it to.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I've got like a pretty big experience like playing role-playing games, playing D&D just about 3 years. But as soon as I picked it up, the very first home game, like I played D&D in a home game setting at your old place.
Oh, yeah.
With your roommate as DMing, and you were playing
T,
that.
He's been on the channel before.
Yeah. And I think the first night I was kind of hooked, I think.
Well, of course, because your first character was good.
Yeah, it was my favorite character, yeah, for sure. So I made a monk.
It's what started it all.
I made a monk.
Oh, you got to talk about that story as well, about your getting away from the monk as well.
Okay, yeah. So
start with the monk.
Start with
your type.
Start with the monk. So I'm a type player for sure. I love playing monks. Yes. I haven't played every single subclass yet, but I really want to. All the subclasses are great.
It's on the bucket list.
A lot of people think my favorite subclass is Way of the Four Elements, which is rated as like the lowest subclass in monks. Like nobody likes playing Way of the Four Elements. I like it because you can like you're basically the Avatar, right? From Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I made a.
Better we
monk.
talk about the comments. If you're not in that Shyamalan one, you're
Yeah,
shit.
of course, yeah. No, the movie was grand. What are you talking about?
Best movie ever.
Yeah. So, I played a monk. His name was Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy.
Bruce Leroy.
His signature move
was like water whipping the shit out of stuff. And I can't believe that I was doing that.
Oh, it was great.
But yeah, it was great. Yeah, and
something in our Discord already.
Yeah. But yeah, so I played a monk, Bruce Leroy. It was a lot of fun. And I to my knowledge, in the D&D setting that T has been like coming up with, and like I've run inside of like a small bit, that character's like around.
Bruce is?
Yeah.
Cool.
He's making cameos.
He's made like one cameo, and it was pretty funny when it happened. T, like, he told us this story where an NPC like encountered somebody, and that somebody was Bruce Leroy. They didn't mention any names or anything like that. And after the game, like he says to me like, "Who do you think it is?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Bruce." And he goes, "Oh, well, like that ruined the surprise." Like, yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, but it was a wild guess. T, if you're watching this,
he's probably not.
He's off doing
it was a complete
God
guess.
knows what
It was a
right
complete
now.
guess. I did not know it was Bruce Leroy from the start. But yeah, so I made a character, Bruce Leroy, like one of my favorite characters. I've got like a thing of wormwood with like his name on it. A nice like hero vault for a model that I was at some point I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do like Heroes Forge and like get a Bruce Leroy model. But
You don't have Bruce yet?
Haven't got a Bruce Leroy model. But yeah, so he's my favorite character. Made me fall in love with monks and playing like every kind of monk there is. I'm currently playing a monk. It's funny because I know that this is gonna like sound like a pretty good joke. I've played monks that are not jokes. Mm-hmm. Bruce Leroy was obviously a joke, like, but it was fun and it became a very serious character.
Yeah.
So I decided to like kind of roll with it in the naming process.
Okay.
So Bruce Leroy was aptly named after Bruce Lee.
Yeah. And
the character that I'm going to come back into on the Friday night game is a Way of the Drunken Fist monk out of the Xanthar's Guide to Everything. Yeah, it's around here. It's a good subclass for monks. You're playing a drunken boxer.
Okay.
And his name is Jackie Can. Aptly named after Jackie Chan, who is the drunken.
Oh, I get it.
Drunken master.
Yeah.
Aptly named. Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. So
that's cool though. I do like that.
There's that, and I had like a funny idea of making a Way of the Open Hand monk, which is super cool. You can like hit stuff and like affect them because you hit them. You can like even at higher level, I think at 17th level, you get Quivering Palm.
Quivering Palm,
where you like touch, you like hit something, you send vibrations into it, and like so many days, depending on your level, you can use that and make them just go to 0 hit points or take 10d10 necrotic damage.
I think so. I think you stop their heart is what it actually says you do.
You stop their heart.
Wave of the Quivering Palm is
Five-fingered.
It's the 5-finger like death punch thing. Yeah. So, and you can do it like in an amount of time depending on your level.
Yeah.
So like if you're level 17, you can do it to them and then run away. And anytime in the next 17 days, you can just like stop their heart.
Oh god.
Did I get it right?
When you use the action, as long as you're on the same plane of existence.
Plane of existence, yeah.
When you use the action, you take a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it is reduced to 0. If it succeeds, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage.
So the idea for this character would be a way of the open hand monk, whose name is Buck Morris. And I would roundhouse kick stuff and use a quivering palm, or like the way of the open,
like kick shit at them,
or kick them with a roundhouse kick, like Chuck Norris.
Okay.
But
roundhouse.
Yeah, like I've got a very good string of like really bad like character names and like ideas for.
Hey, so a thing about the quivering palm. It doesn't have a limit on how many times you can do that.
Exactly.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's so broken.
It's great.
You could just like
17th level, you can like
you're
die. Like
and you get 5 attacks a turn at that point, probably.
yeah.
Lord.
No, probably
3.
6.
6. Dude, mugs are stupid. I love it. Buck Norris?
It's 5. It's 5 at that level, I think. I think you get your extra level, your extra attack at 18, maybe. When's your extra attack? Let's see.
They have all the
1, 2. So I guess it would just be 2 or 4 at that point.
Because you get
So yeah, you can use
2
your
every attack.
Yeah, you can use your Fury Blows for a key for 2 extra on a bonus action.
So to interrupt some of this D&D, Patrick Mahomes will not be returning to Thursday Night Football.
Who's that?
Quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Went down with a knee injury off a quarterback sneak. So, yeah, that's not very good for some of my fantasy, or one of my fantasy leagues.
That's not very good for a lot of people's fantasy leagues, I think.
Dang.
Sorry, Big C.
Dang.
Yeah. Craig's not going to be too happy either. He's probably going to buy. He's talking about their day, like, dude, if they lose, I'm getting a Sam Darnold jersey. So if you're watching, Craig, it's now been set on air. So if they lose, you have to buy the Sam Darnold jersey.
You're doing it.
Yeah, so monks are my favorite. I could talk about them all day, but definitely a thing that I'd like to talk about is playing outside of your normal.
Yeah, because monks are definitely your normal.
Monks are my normal. I know them inside and out. For the most part, I can get like small details wrong, but I get the gist. And
He gets.
Yeah. So playing in Washington, the DM, I wasn't hot on it at first, and then after it happened, I was like, okay, this could be good, but I wouldn't like do this as a regular basis. So the DM, he made us draw randomly for classes. So he put all the classes into a hat, and we drew from a hat like which class. And that was a good way. I guess it was a good way for him to make sure you didn't have like 2 monks or like 2 fighters or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I drew a druid, which I had never played before. And truly, I had never really played anything beyond a monk, a fighter, or a wizard for like a one-shot. A wizard was just a one-shot thing. So I'd never really played in a longer setting or a longer campaign for a dedicated spellcasting class. And boy, are druids fun.
Druid. Reese plays a druid in our Tuesday night game, and I've read druid. I've read all the classes, but I haven't played them all, and druid is one that I have not gone near. And they're super nifty.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of little things that make them... that when you read them on paper don't sound so useful, but once you see them applied in the game in creative ways, it really they're very versatile to be a spellcaster.
Yeah,
maybe more so than any of the other classes except maybe wizard.
For sure. I think druids are really nice because they just know all their spells. So they get a very large list of spells.
Mm-hmm. Very large.
I think it's the spells.
Sadly not. So the classes are kind of depend on what spells you have. There are some like races.
But that's why I have the lightning breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some races that like get some adept like magical ability, like the elves.
Yeah.
I think high elves get to pick like one wizard cantrip or something like that. We can get into spells.
I think they get light or something.
Is it kind of like
I think it's prestidigitation. I think they get to choose between like prestidigitation or something else.
Is it kind of like how Batman knows one
I might be
spell?
thinking of the wrong thing.
Batman knows one spell.
Batman knows one spell that cancels all magic for an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a D&D character. Dude, I saw a D&D character sheet for actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf the other day, and I was blown away. I want to fight him.
So, yeah, I think high elves get a choice of like a wizard cantrip. I think it's like message or prestidigitation.
Message
maybe.
RNK.
Message is a cool spell.
I really like message. It's a really cool spell that I like. You can like point to somebody and whisper, and they can like hear that message in their head, and they can reply back to you. It's only like a one sentence phrase though. Cantrips, yeah.
The wizard spell list.
Is it just like one from a wizard spell list?
One cantrip of your choice from the wizard spell list, which would give you.
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch.
Message, firebolt, prestidigitation.
Firebolt?
Firebolt. I think.
Firebolt? Oh god, you ready? Acid splash, blade ward, chill touch, dancing lights, firebolt, friends light, mage hand, message, mending, minor illusion, poison spray, prestidigitation, ray of frost, shocking grasp, and true strike. Wow.
D&D sounds like
really.
Yeah, elves like pretty.
Why do I not play high elves?
Elves are pretty nice. Yeah, high elves are nice.
D&D sounds like it'd be more effective to a Naruto-based game.
Oh yeah. Shadow clone jutsu, baby.
Yeah, stuff like that.
All the spells could be
fire style,
pretty easily like translated
wood style,
to some kind of like.
Rock Lee's just a monk.
Rock Lee is a monk.
Yeah. Rock Lee's a badass.
Rock Lee's a bad.
I think didn't
Brow.
Rock Lee like use Drunken Fist at some point?
He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He was very good at it too. Very good at it.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to play a druid, and they're super cool. They know all their spells. That's the thing that I really liked about it, because like if there was a situation that I needed, I had a spell for it. That's the thing with playing a druid. You need to kind of think ahead. Like what kind of encounter are you going into? Are you aware of like the three pillars of D&D? Three. You have three pillars. You have combat. You have adventure, or like exploring, and then you have what's the third one?
Downtime, domestic, township.
Like talking to people. Yeah. So.
Like 3 laws of robotics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they're like the three pillars that kind of make up role playing of like
I can see that.
Combat, exploration, and like talking to people, like talking to NPCs.
Interactions.
Yeah. So those are your social encounters. That's
that's what they're called.
Yeah. So monks or druids are pretty nice because they have a lot of spells that can like very easily help you in all of those different types of encounters. A lot of them for combat, because a lot of the spells they get can do some good damage.
Yeah. Yes, they can.
So you do have to like kind of play ahead and like think ahead and realize which spells would be nice to prepare, because you can only prepare so many spells. So you can have a big list, but you might only be able to use 6 or 7 of them.
Your shortcut list.
Yeah. Well, at least 6 or 7 around at the
Quick
beginning
spells.
of the game. Yeah. When you get to higher levels, your prepared spells, it's like based off of your level. It's for druids, it's wisdom plus your level.
I don't doubt you.
It's whatever your level is plus your wisdom.
Okay.
2 cantrips.
2 cantrips. It'd be under preparing spells.
D&D, it's just so vast.
Preparing and casting spells. Right there.
Wisdom modifier plus your druid level.
Yeah. So level 1, if you had like a wisdom like ability modifier of 4, which is pretty good. At level 1, you'd be able to prepare 5 spells out of the big list that you have to use.
Okay.
So out of like maybe, I'm just taking a guess of like the 30 some first level druid spells that there are, you can use 5 of them for a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 different ones, yeah, but you
5
only
different
have
ones.
2
so many spell slots.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can prepare those spells to have them ready if you would to need them, but you can only use 2 spell slots at the beginning of the game. So, or at least at first level.
Interesting.
So you kind of got to think ahead, and like, especially playing out of type, it was really it was beneficial to see, you know, not only a brand new class basically. I already heard about druids and like how much fun they were and how like arguably hard they are to play because you got to prepare your spells. You have a big list to choose from, but the role playing was kind of neat because I always kind of played the monk, and the monks like are a lot of fun. You can play monks a lot of different ways, but for the most part, you hit things and you're like kind of wise about the universe.
And you can move pretty quick.
For the most part, you can move super quick as monk.
Okay.
But as druids, it was especially for the race I played a Kinku, which it's not in the player's handbook. It's in Volo's Guide to Monsters. It's an additional character race.
Okay.
And you're a raven folk basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Raven folk.
yeah, so you can only talk through mimicry. So like you can only say things that people that you have heard.
Okay. So kind of like how Bumblebee talks in Transformers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And you can like imitate sounds and stuff, which I did a lot when I was role playing as the druid for the game in Washington. Yeah, I would like make sounds for a lot of things. So for instance, I rolled a perception check one time to like get my surroundings in the forest, and the DM told me you don't hear anything, which on top of like one thing, the DM wasn't very descriptive in his stuff, but this is the one time where like you don't hear anything, a very small description really threw me off guard. I was like, we're in a very dense forest and I hear nothing, like no animal sounds, no anything.
That would immediately put me on edge.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And the other players didn't like notice it with their perception checks or whatnot. So I, as a Kinku, and like as a druid, had like lived in the forest for a while. I looked at them. I got their attention. I couldn't speak to them like in regular words because of the mimicry like feature of Kinkus. So I opened my mouth and I made the noise of like ambient sound in a forest. And then when I stopped, they all realized
there's no sound.
There's no sound.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like playing a Kinku can be hard for sure with the mimicry thing. Like you can't aptly talk to people. But there's a lot of really cool ways to incorporate the role playing of other sounds, not just language,
and that's
into the communication.
Yeah, that's where you have to build on your role playing aspects.
To
bring the character to life.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the playing that I done, I've been like a fair role player. I think, at least in my own opinion.
I think almost everyone that plays in our homebrew, and heck, you ran it for a long time, so of course you're a good role player. You have to be a dungeon master, but I think everybody who plays here is a decent role player. That's why they play in the group. Yeah,
I think we're definitely a slightly heavy role playing.
I would say not slightly. I would say you guys are heavy RP.
Yeah,
you don't like wear costumes or anything, but
you could.
I would if I could. Yeah.
It's a question. As a Kinku, could you do like an I am Groot kind of like thing? Like
I think that could be acceptable. Yeah.
Like you can only say a certain set of words.
Yeah.
But like,
so
they all had different meaning. like Groot.
Yeah. So like yeah, you could do that for sure.
Maybe your ravens dropped on your head a couple times.
In the game in the game that I ran, there's a Kinku that's like a part of a thieves guild called the Red Water.
Okay.
This was Ben's character, right?
No, so this was an NPC
that
the players interacted with. and like one of the players, Dylan, I think it was, came up to the NPC, the Kinku, and was trying to interact with him, and the Kinku said, "Who the fuck are you?" And like in just like some weird voice.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and like
excuse me,
Dylan in role playing was like trying to interact with him, and that's all he would say. And then later on, he like
reveal
saw the Kinku talking to another Thieves Guild member, and the Thieves Guild member would be talking to him, and the Kinku would just say that multiple times, and they would just continue the conversation. Like, the guy knew what he was talking about. Like, I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
That is.
That was a thing that somebody just said that phrase, and I just rolled with it. Yeah, sure. That's funny, but yeah, it was really nice to play a Kinku. I definitely think I grew a little bit as a role player there, of like really thinking about the sounds and the ambient presence of people talking to me. I kept a small list of phrases that other players would say in character, where I can say that as a Kinku in their voice, right? So
that's right, because you can mimic voices perfectly.
You can mimic voices perfectly. Yeah,
which is super fun.
Yeah, so there was like a small time where I could take words from certain like sentences that they would say and make my own sentence, but every other word would be in a different character's voice. So it was kind of fun. Yeah,
like one of those terrifying mashup videos.
Yeah, exactly. Much like Bumblebee, where he gets full sentences out of multiple radio channels. Yeah. So that was pretty fun to do.
Speak in pop culture references.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Getting out of the type, I think, really grows you as a role player, because it puts you in like somebody else's shoes, pants.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: as growing as a role player, being RPG, fantasy world, that would you do LARPing, live action role playing?
Yeah.
Because I would totally be down for
I'd be down for it.
I would do that.
I have a cousin, Travis Betzall. You probably
I've heard the name.
Yeah, so I just found out that he does like some LARPing in Tennessee.
Really? Okay.
Like he just like kind of picked it up. And I think he's really big into it.
I wonder what group he's with. Our friend from the shop used to do LARPing out in Tennessee.
Friend from the shop.
We have only about 5,000.
A lot.
Can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name.
I'll tell you his name.
Okay.
That's interesting though. I would do LARPing.
Is this?
No. No, my previous Monday night partner.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Huh.
Thee who shall not be named.
I got you. So he's like doing some LARPing, and like I thought about like maybe going out.
What was the movie that made like LARPing was a thing? It had
Pixels.
No, that's not Pixels.
Was this
it had Sean William Scott, Paul Rudd, McLovin.
They're like counselors for like kids. Yeah.
They're in the a mentorship program.
Duh. Is it Role Models?
Yes,
Role Models. That's it.
Duh.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
With Kiss Anthem, that's their guild or whatever they're playing for.
Yeah, so
I would do some LARPing.
I would definitely do some LARPing, like exercise some slightly different role playing muscles.
Yeah.
And actual muscles.
I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Like you could literally show up with 2 battle axes and be like, all right, this is me.
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do it. Luke, you on board?
Sure, let's do it. I just found out that there's a movie called The Wild Hunt, and it's about a medieval reenactment turning into tragedy when a guy intervenes to win back his girlfriend. I'm super curious to know how it turns to tragedy, because the cover looks like a shitty B-rated horror film, and if it's a horror film at a Ren Fair, I'm super curious.
Super curious.
Super curious.
Super curious.
Super curious.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's like some good talking points, I guess.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we left off?
Yeah, do we want to like keep going? Or?
No, what time is it?
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
So here at
Should
Blue
we-
Ridge
should
Nerd
we-
Network, we usually do our weekly NFL picks. As a
Right.
guest, you are now obligated to join in on those picks.
Okay.
How's the game for tonight going?
I don't know. That's what I'm about to check.
So are we picking like teams or players?
Just the teams.
Okay.
Like right now, the Broncos and the Chiefs are playing.
Okay.
I'm about to find out that score right now. It is Kansas City 20, Denver 6 at the half.
Ooh.
But Patrick Mahomes is out.
Right.
So, but with that
Before
lead,
the game, we did say our picks. I had already picked Kansas City.
okay, I was going to say the Chiefs as well.
So Patrick who?
Patrick Mahomes.
And he plays for the Chiefs?
He does play for the Chiefs. They're starting quarterback.
So he's out with an injury. Do you think that's like
He's
really
not
going to
returning.
affect the game for tonight?
Well, they're already up 20.
So it's all under the defense now. Right?
It's pretty much on the defense, and if Kansas City's had a real problem establishing the running game,
Okay.
so maybe this is their opportunity to find that running game.
They might not have many options.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell you who the backup is for the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's always been about Mahomes.
Yeah,
You don't hear about the backup there, but I would go Chiefs still, even though they're up. I don't
The
think
Broncos just haven't been like last week almost felt like a fluke
Yeah,
when they came out and just stomped it.
yeah,
Stomped
Okay.
it.
So I was born and raised a Packers fan.
Okay.
Shout out to my dad if he's watching, like for raising me as a Packers fan. But yeah, so Green Bay, that's my pick tonight.
All right, they're not playing, but all right.
Okay.
They're gonna win.
We pick teams that are playing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So who's playing?
Chiefs at Broncos right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Chiefs are up 20-6.
I think the Chiefs. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up we have Rams at the Falcons.
Rams.
Okay.
Only because I have so many of their players.
Rams. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go Rams as well. They just got Jalen Ramsey from a trade. The Rams need a win, and they also go up against the 1-5 Falcons. So even though they're playing on the road, I think they can still squeak out that win. Next up we have Dolphins at the Bills. Dolphins are 0-5.
Bills. Yeah.
Bills are 4-1.
This is the game that the Dolphins won again.
You know what?
They want to win.
They want to win.
They want to win
If
them
they were to
all.
beat the Bills, that would be a win.
That would be a strong show
That'd be
of passion.
But they're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills. The Bills are they're pretty good.
Are you obligated to pick a water animal?
I think
because of
so.
I think
Yeah.
so too. Yeah. So wait, what about a Seahawk? Does a Seahawk count as a water animal?
Seahawk is technically a marine animal.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Problem solved. He would know.
So Seahawks
Okay.
for the next one if that's Seahawks.
They're coming up.
They're coming up. Actually, I think they're on a bye.
Are they on a bye this week?
I think they're on a bye.
Nice.
No, they're not. They're playing late.
It's Cincinnati's on a bye this week.
No. Jaguars at Bengals.
No, Cleveland has the. I'm sorry,
Cleveland
the
has a
other
bye.
Damn you, Ohio! Wait, who?
Jaguars.
Jaguars at Bengals.
Yeah, come on, Minshew, you can do this. I'm going for the Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
Going Jaguars as well. Vikings at Lions.
Lions. Ugh.
What's the record right now?
The Vikings are 4-2. The Lions are 2-1.
How do they get a 1?
They tied with the Arizona
with who?
Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
Very first game of the year, actually.
Ha-
They were technically undefeated for a while because they had a tie
Huh.
and not a loss.
Vikings.
Okay.
You get out of my house.
I'm going Vikings as well. They just stomped the Eagles. Stephon Diggs had
well,
167
you get out of
yards
your
and
house.
3 touchdowns. Okay, here we go. Raiders at the Packers.
Packers. Always. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you taking, Luke?
Always. Aaron Rodgers is a marvel.
He is. He's
He's an
quite
American
special.
treasure. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I'm going to go Packers as well, though.
You traitor.
You'll get over it. Texans at Colts.
Oh, golly.
Colts.
Okay. I'm gonna go Texans here.
You know, I'm like distantly related to Peyton and Eli Manning.
Really?
Yeah. They're like my fifth or sixth cousin.
Huh. Interesting. Did you find that out from 23andMe?
Ancestry.com.
Okay, yeah. Even better.
Actually, yeah.
Wow. Even better.
Wow. Very, very distantly. Like, not good enough to get tickets, but enough to be like if I saw them in the street, like, hey, I'm gonna.
I have the paperwork right here.
Yeah.
Oh. Next up, we have, speaking of a Manning, Cardinals at Giants. Even though Daniel Jones is starting quarterback there.
Cardinals.
Luke? Mr. Fishy Face?
Giants.
I'm taking the Cardinals. Here.
I probably should take the Cardinals, honestly. I just said Giants. I don't know how I feel about that.
But
I'm sticking with Giants.
Okay. 49ers at Redskins.
49ers.
This guy.
49ers. They're going to win that. Like the Redskins are tosh this year.
Yeah,
they're 1-5.
Who's
5-0.
their big quarterback that's no longer their quarterback? Or it still
well, Alex Smith was there last year, but he literally suffered the exact same injury that Joe Theismann suffered 20 years later, where his leg literally snapped in half. But now they're quarterbacks on a carousel of Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, and the rookie they drafted this year, Dwayne Haskins.
Who was it for the Redskins a couple of years ago?
RG3.
RG3. Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
He's a backup for the Ravens right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go 49ers as well. Chargers at Titans.
Chargers.
I feel like Ryan Tannehill's starting for them. For the Titans. Saints at Bears.
Saints.
That's tough. What's the Bears' records right now?
3-2. Saints are 5-1. They're
They're
still riding Teddy Bridgewater though. He's doing good. But Bears have a good defense.
I'm trying to pick up their defense right now. Actually,
I'm gonna go Saints. I feel like they're riding that wave right now. They're playing really well under Teddy Bridgewater. Ravens at Seahawks.
Seahawks. I'm obligated.
Obligations are always a thing. What about you, Luke? Ravens, Seahawks.
Also,
Ravens.
I went by the Seattle Seahawks.
CenturyLink Field.
Yeah. I stayed in a hostel. Man. I stayed in a hostel in downtown Seattle.
That's cool.
That was 3 blocks from it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. The hostel was pretty nice.
Hell
Seattle's rough.
Yeah.
Seattle's rough.
A lot of rain.
Wow.
Rain a lot there.
A lot of homeless.
Ooh, that's never good to hear.
There's
that was one of my saddest memories about living in Jacksonville. We had to travel downtown, drop my sister off for school. When you see a lot of homeless, it's sad.
In Seattle, they've got massive tent camps underneath the freeway.
Really?
It's 50 to 60 tents under a freeway exit.
Well,
what's your next team?
You should direct them to a national park.
Yeah, right.
Ravens Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks. You don't think you said
Ravens.
Okay. Eagles at Cowboys.
I believe in you, Eagles.
Eagles.
I'm going Eagles, of course. In the last game of the week, Patriots at Jets.
Oh, God. Why are you even asking?
I mean, I want the Jets to win, but I'm taking the Patriots.
Same Patriots.
So, that's our NFL picks. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Blue Ridge Nerds.
On Twitter at Nerd Ridge.
On YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook at Blue Ridge Nerd Network. You can follow me on Twitter at SoTeal_.
You can follow me on Twitter at MNTYHPO.
Minty Hippo.
I don't know my Twitter handle off the top of my head.
Aren't you
Prince of Tennis 96?
Is that it's not 96?
Is
It's
it?
probably 69.
It's like Prince of Tennis 0 or something like that.
I think it's Prince of Tennis 69.
What is it?
Sure, it's not Gary the Goat.
It's Prince of Tennis G. Yeah. But you can also follow me on Instagram at some people call me Gert with underscores underneath like each word, like in between each word. I've got like a pretty decent follower ratio on Instagram.
There you go. We need help on our ratio. But that's
guessing this is something you've talked about before.
Fucking Seattle.
That's T.
Oh no! Slam the door and it didn't shut.
Till you cussed on air, my mom's probably watching.
If your mom's watching, she has nothing better to do than any given Thursday.
I mean, that's what we're doing this on Thursdays.
Fair enough.
I'm Luke.
I'm Dom.
And I was the guest, Garrett.
And as always, T. Blue Ridge Nerd Network.
Signing off.
Bye.